data. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased.
Where AFRICELL goes, nobody dares to follow. Tired of seeing the message you have insufficient funds in your account? Worry no more. With AFRICELL, the cholera credit just got way better.
Now you can continue your conversations with your loved ones. With the new cholera credit, you can now borrow up to $250 credit. Send a blank SMS to 152 to get your cholera credit and activate the service of your choice. For more info, please call 111.
Where AFRICELL goes, nobody dares to follow. Good evening. If you're just joining us, you're watching GRTS and it's AFRICELL's WAHTAN TV show, and I'm your host for tonight, Ronald Senghor. Right here today, we'll be having some very wonderful conversations because the guest in the studio would be shedding light on a lot of important issues that are concerning his work, himself, the country at large, and the general populace. I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Emmanuel Joof, the Commissioner and Chairperson of the first National Human Rights Commission in the Gambia. Good evening and welcome to WAHTAN.
Good evening, and thank you very much, Ronald, for inviting me to this show.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. In tonight's show, we'll be having very frank and straightforward discussions with Mr. Joof because he has a very, very difficult job, and we'll be discussing his work. But nonetheless, keep on calling and sending your SMSs to 1010, and you stand the chance of winning loads of cash and a free shopping spree courtesy of AFRICELL. Mr. Joof, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Right now, before we jump into your work, we just want to find out who Mr. Joof is. Where did Mr. Joof come from up to the point that he's heading the first National Human Rights Commission?
Wow. You want me to give you my CV?
Yes, just briefly.
Yes, relevant to what I'm doing, I will tell you that I am a lawyer.
Okay.
And I'm a Gambian.
Yes.
Grew up in the Gambia.
Okay.
But I was very active during the Second Republic.
Okay.
As people would say.
Yeah.
That is after the coup d'etat.
Yeah.
I had just come home, like many of my age, having studied abroad, and I belonged to a group which was the Coalition of Human Rights Defenders.
Okay.
And we were very concerned. But before that. When I came, I was a magistrate. I became a magistrate for a short period. And I was sitting at Carnifing, later Lower River Division, and they call it North Bank Division.
Okay.
But then when I left, I joined a regional NGO, and our job was my key job was human rights.
Oh, right, okay.
And during that period, with a group of friends, we also formed what was called the Coalition of Human Rights Defenders.
Okay.
I was also a member of the Amnesty International chapter in this country. And during that period, it was a military regime.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of human rights violations.
Yeah.
Human rights abuses were rampant. And myself and my colleagues, we did a lot of work in that area. And the government of the day naturally was not very happy with what we did. First, especially, I think our work came to prominence during the April 10 and 11 2000, which, as you know, students were killed when they were demonstrating.
Yes.
Demonstration was about the rape of one of their colleagues and another one who in Birkama, Brahma, who was allegedly tortured by the fire brigade. And of course, the student came on the rampage, and there were 14 were killed, and we took it upon ourselves to go to court. Immediately after that, of course, as you know, there was a lot of students were arrested, held incommunicado. So
during that time, how was it being a lawyer at that time. That time you were a lawyer or a magistrate at that time?
No, I had left the magistrate. I would not have
you're a lawyer by then.
Yes, I was a lawyer.
What conditions were you working? How was your job in representing those students that were killed and students that had issues during the April 10?
Yes, it was a tense moment, but what we also did, we formed, as I said, we were a coalition, and even the former Minister of Justice was part of that coalition, Boubacar Tambedu, Fatou Jagne Senghor, many, I think D.A. Jau, Anti Adelaide. So we had a hodgepodge, a mixture of, and we also co-opted very senior lawyers like Usman Silla and many others. And it was the early days. I think the then regime was testing the water.
Yes, okay.
It was not as bad as it became if you fast forward. So I would say yes, but when we actually stood for this, they were released when we went to court. Habeas corpus application, they were released. But not only were they released, I immediately also went to Senegal because one of the ringleaders there, Emmanuel Joof, was then in Senegal, and he was given sanctuary by Rado. Rado was a very famous, headed by Aliou Tine then. So to talk to them so that they will apparently, very interesting, I've never said this, but our group was even infiltrated. Because when I went to Senegal to talk to Rado, I was told that somebody, I will not mention their name, had been there and they had convinced them that Omar should come back. Even the head of state was thinking of making him Minister of Youths and Sports. And I told them to be very careful. Well, it's good to have context and history in these things. And of course, subsequently, the government came hard on us. Silla, Nongo Silla, very famous, who was really, we used to call him Mr. Impunity. He was arrested and at NIA quarters. I was also charged with trump-up charges. So there were a lot of issues during that period. But of course, I left, like most of my colleagues, and I joined UNHCR, that is the United Nations Commission for Refugees. And I did a lot of work in refugee camps. Then
was that as a result?
Well, I think it was probably also a coincidence, although I'm sure my family was very relieved, and my wife.
That I had to step away.
Yes, and what happened was, during that period, immediately, if you know, the regime became emboldened. The death of, the killing of veteran journalist, Leila Haidara, the shooting of Usman Silla. So I think immediately during that period, I think the regime became emboldened. And it was not, and people suffered.
So it was practically important that you left.
Well, yes, or I would say, because it's funny that you said that, because after I left, my colleagues, some of them, a lot of them left. Nongo Silla called me one time, I was in the Sudan. He had somebody who had fallen out of favor with the government told him was it in America that they were actually, we were under surveillance and he was even supposed to ambush and torture us. And it was someone who ran away.
So as fate would have it.
As fate would have it. So but this was a difficult period during that period. But of course, fast forwarded, then I also worked for UNDP as rule of law officer, access to justice advisor, legal training advisor for another organization called IDLO, International Development Law Organization. So I've been
So you spent how many years away? When did you leave?
Around 2002.
2002. And came back?
But I've been coming in and out. But finally, I came back 2018. I would say I came finally.
So you finally?
Yes, but I did take time off. Sometimes I came for 6 months. But yes, I would say that.
But during those periods,
No, just for holidays. And of course, a lot of us who were out there were also filing things to Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch. There was a lot of things we were doing, and groundwork was being done, albeit, as some would say, clandestinely during that period.
Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, you're watching WAHTAN. We're right here at GRTS, and we have the Commissioner and Chairperson of the First National Human Rights Commission, Mr. Joof, right here, Mr. Emmanuel Joof, and he'll be shedding light on a lot of things. But before we jump into the conversation proper, and I would love you to talk about this and explain to, after you've explained in English, and probably in Wolof.
Yes,
what human rights is?
Yes, I think this is very important, and this is a question that is very apt. You know why? Because to start with, human right has been given many definitions by many people. And not only that, the former head of state used it as a mockery. You know, that it was Eurocentric, these were only gay rights, and unfortunately people bought into it. But what are human rights? These are rights that are guaranteed in our laws. These are rights that, if you look at the 1997 Constitution, it tells you that these are the fundamental rights that anybody within the jurisdiction of the Gambia are entitled to. And what are these rights? You know, I like this question because most of the time people will say, yeah, but human rights, this is Eurocentric, you guys. No. Our mandate is to promote and protect the human rights that are enshrined in the Constitution and in the laws of the Gambia. The right to life. Let me just quickly, right to life, what does that mean? That as a human being, you are a human being, you have the right to life. Nobody can... Nobody has a right to deprive you of your right. And you've seen what happened in the TRRC. Extrajudicial killings. This is what we're talking about. So when we talk about human rights, people, no, the right to life, you don't have to be a tubab. A white man doesn't have to tell us that you have a right to life. Roland Senghor, you have a right to life. This is a God-given right. And nobody can take that right from you. Let quickly, for example, the right to personal liberty. What does that mean? It says that nobody has a right to just get hold of you and arrest you, because if you have done something wrong, it must be followed. Law even goes further. Even when you arrest the person, you must tell them why you arrest them within 72 hours.
If there are no charges,
maximum, yes. You have to take them before a court of law or let them go. You have to tell them why they're held. You have to give the right to a lawyer. So these are basic right, protection from inhumane treatment. What is that? It says that nobody has a right to be beaten or tortured. Even if the person you believe has done wrong, again, due process must be followed. This is what we're saying. If you have gotten hold of him, you've seen what happened. Just you've immobilized this man. Take him to
police.
So this is what we're saying. Then we talk about the right to fair trial, political rights. That you have the right to join any political party that you want. You have a right to vote. Are these rights these are the rights we're talking about? And we have not made, the National Human Rights Commission didn't make these rights. We have been mandated to protect the rights and promote these rights. So therefore, if you have a right to vote, have a right to join a political, the right to demonstration, the right of free speech, okay, there are limitations to rights. We know this. But even when there are limitations, it must be in accordance with law. This is what we're talking about. The right to education. Sometimes, why I'm saying this, a lot of people will say, well, human rights, human rights. We want the right to food, education, health. But these are human rights. They are guaranteed. And these are the rights, as a National Human Rights Commission, we are promoting and protecting the rights of the disabled. These are rights. You know, people who are differently able or disabled, they are Gambians. We must afford that right so that they can live their lives, they fulfill their lives as human beings. So the protection from discrimination, it's very important. Nobody has a right to discriminate against you because of your religion, because of your tribe, because of the way you look. You heard these problems in the URR, the caste system, where because you are born from a particular lineage, or you're seen as a lesser person. These are, or you're a woman, or you're so these are the rights that we talk about. So when they tell you these are, we protect and promote the fundamental rights that are in our laws, chapter 4 of the Constitution, and also
So in short, just briefly, how do you explain this in our local language so that the people will understand that it's not just a foreign thing, that it's laws that are here that you're here to protect, and it governs them and it actually protects them as a people?
Wow. I'm gonna pour la ko olof. Waaw. Daf day jafe surtout sooy wax façon yi concept yi la. Waaw. Waaye dinaa try. Human rights mooy aaxa. Yàlla dafa jox doomu aadama aaxa ak yelef. Parce que nit nga. yow yàlla yow la jox lii. Comme que yàlla jox na la lii ma door di wax, for example lim ma doon wax right to life.
Yàlla la bakken waaw.
Dundu bakken yàlla daf la def nit jox la dundu bakken kenn beneen doomu aadama amul doole pour jël loolu ci yow. Su fekkee ne sax am na dëkk yoo xam ne nag am na lu ñoo ooyee death penalty. Su fekkee ne loo sax yow def nga loo xam ne like na rey nga nit, su fekkee ne dëkk ba nga nekk am nañ sax loi yooyu dañ la war a awale ci loi jaarale fa nga xam ne ñëpp gis ne kii de moo ko def. waaw loolu rek moo laa ne yàlla moo la jox aaxa bi. Suñ ne freedom from unlawful arrest and detention, mu ne kenn amul doole bi pour ñëw jàppal la téye la tëj la kaso. Te su fekkee ne sax dafa am loo xam ne da nga ko def te àndut ak yoon, dañ ko war a jaarale si loi. Loolu la freedom of arrest, te nag xam nga la na fi doon xew ci dëkk bi. Amoon na jamono joo xam ne su ma ñëwee fii wax xëj na balaa maa egg kër tey jàpp nañ. Waaw parce que li maa wax neexuñ ko ñu bare seen papa yee seen yaay. waaw loolu la ñoo wax. waaw nag loolu tubaab moo ñu ko war a jox déedéet. loolu ñun parce que yàlla moo ñu jox loolu. Ma dem ci beneen discrimination. Lan la ñoo wax suñ loi bi biñ am ci constitution bi mu ne waruloo xaajaatle wala gënaatle kenn su ndax ci dund ndax ma njaago la ndax ci xeet bam jógee, ndax ci diine ga mbokka, ndax muslim la, ndax christian la, ndax bouddhiste la, ndax ci fam comme ni ma ko waxee fam jógee. Di nga gis ne ci suñ biir fu mu nekk du ñàkkut di nga dégg ne am na yenn place yi ci tundu Basse ak yooyu bu yàggu nuy ay yëngu-yëngu am na fa. Am na ñoo xam ne ci seen dëkkuwaay seen dund ak ni ñoo doxalee am na ñoom ñoo xam ne wax nañ ne ñun ñoo eeloo yi yéen eeloo soo mu ngay indi jafe-jafe. Am na place yoo xam ne sax su nit dee am nañ ne ñii fii lañ leen di suul parce que ñii ñoo gën a nekk nit. ñële fale lañ di suul. Loolu la soo human rights mu nañu freedom from discrimination. Comme que yow yàlla moo la jox def la nit, suñ loi dëkk bi mu ne waru ñoo xaajaatle waruta bokk ci loi bi ak gënaatle. Loolu mooy discrimination. Ma waxaat la deprivation of property mooy yow Roland am nga sa moto am nga sa kër, kenn amul doole pour ñëw dal sa kaw jël sa alal. Mu ngoog te amoon na fi de da nga ñëw jël sa alal. Waaw loolu nag ñun loi bi mu ne bañ ñu sosee yii lañ war di gëstu di seet. Te su fekkee ne sax may ma rek ma jeexal, su fekkee ne sax jël nañ sa alal parce que nguur gi soo xoolee constitution bi léeg-léeg daf lay joxe droit pour nga ñëw pour jagar xëj na lopitaan wala waaye mu ne su fekkee ne sax loolu am na xëj na oil sax gis nañ ko foofu da ngaa fay nit ka li ko jar. Waaw soo loolu yëpp bokk na si freedom of speech. Ne am nga doole su yow am nga aaxa pour bokk ci parti political party bu la neex. Comme que am nga 18 mun ngaa votel ku la neex. soo lii mooy lii ca am nga right pour health. Sa waruwaay ak sa dëkkuwaay. The right of environment kenn waru koo ñëw pëlu. Loolu mooy human rights. Waaye nag am na ñu jël wax bi dëpp ko.
Loolu yëpp ngeen taxawal.
Loolu lañ taxawal waaye nag. wax bi léeg-léeg mu am ñu jël wax bi dëpp ko. jaxase ko digg nga ko ci bi ñoo wax ci naka constitution bi. draft bi. am na ñu jël dëpp suñu wax.
boobu dinañ si ñëw
jaxase wax bi waaw. waaye nag
boobu dañ si ñëw léegi lu ñoo def dañoo dem for short break. waxtaan mi neex na trop waaye dañoo dem short break ñu dem gox bu ñoo ooyee Bakaw ñu won nit yi Bakaw then suñ ñëwaatee ñu def yu ndaw rek dañ ñu delluwaat si waxtaan mi nee na trop nag waaye suñ delluwaatee dinañ waxtaan yéen lan mooy seen mandate as a commission fii si dëkk bi ak yow lan mooy seen liggéey ak nanga nga nekk di enforcer si réew mi. So keep on watching and don't go away. We'll be right back. We're just going to go to Bakau and show you what Bakau is all about. Don't get away. In today's episode of Know Your Country, we are in Bakau, the home of Kachikali, the famous crocodiles of the Gambia, the home of beautiful hotels, the home of Bakau craft markets, the home of Star of the Sea Church, and the home of Basiru Jawara's Mosque. We are here in the place where there's serious and very beautiful diversity. We are in Bakau. Follow me as we discover this beautiful, beautiful town.
AFRICELL people, AFRICELL has done it again.
What is it this time?
Simply use your AfriMoney account to buy credit, data and cash power to get the chance to win up to $500,000.
That is fantastic.
If you don't have an AfriMoney account, now is the perfect time to get it. Call 777 to activate your AfriMoney account and increase your chances to win up to $500,000.
Where AFRICELL goes, nobody dares to follow.
Tired of seeing the message you have insufficient funds in your account? Worry no more. With AFRICELL, the cholera credit just got way better.
Now you can continue your conversations with your loved ones. With the new cholera credit, you can now borrow up to $250 credit. Send a blank SMS to 152 to get your cholera credit and activate the service of your choice. For more info, please call 111.
Where AFRICELL goes, nobody dares to follow.
Hello and welcome once again to the AFRICELL Supermarket Spree right here at the Righteous Supermarket. We have another winner, and this time we're happy that it is a female. And she'll be running into the supermarket and grabbing as much food items as she can. All she had to do was call or send SMSs to 1010, and today she's a winner of the Supermarket Spree. Sohna si nanga def?
Maa ngi sant Yàlla.
Nanga tuda?
Maa ngi tudd Adama Koli.
Adama foo dëkka?
Maa ngi dëkk Abuko.
Adama ñu ngi laa ñëw dugal si supermarket bi nga jël lekka yu bëree bari. Soo pare ban tooga nga njëkka tooga?
Toogi Joola rek ko njëkka toogu kay.
Ban si?
Yow xam nga muy pemben.
Waaw baax na ba pare nga rek pour duga.
waaw maa ngi pare kay pare naa ci waaw.
Waaw baax na xaaral ñu duga suñu soo génnee pare dañ ñu seet loo génne dañ ñu waxtaan ak yow dégg nga.
Waaw baax na.
All right. Right now we'll go into the supermarket and find out what she's gonna bring out. Follow me inside. affaire yi neex na trop gis nañ Adama Koli duga na daw na digga ne yàlla Adama jàmbaar la Adama naka woon affaire yi.
affaire bi neexoon na métti woon na waaye sant yàlla ba mu bëree bëri nag bu ma sañoon bi yëpp ma jël maalo ak duulin kese ma dem tooga ko nag ekangule ak pemben ma lekka ko ak suñu njaboot yi waaw.
nga joola ak maalo.
joola ak maalo yëpp yemale woon ci dara. waaw kay.
dara daawul maalo de.
moom kay. ñu ne saako MT saako du mën a taxaw neen waaw kay. waa AFRICELL maa ngi leen di santal di leen gërëm di leen ñaanal bés bu nekk dinaa ngeen liggéey seen réew mi seen jëf ji baax na kontaan naa si torop sax waaw dama kontaan ba sax aw ma sax li may wax waaw maa ngi leen di bég nag waaw.
jërëjëf, there you have it, a happy winner winning herself all these beautiful goodies, all by calling 1010 and sending the SMSs. You could be a winner. Keep on calling and be right here winning all these beautiful things. Let's get right back into the studio.
mbokk yi ñoo seetaan ñu ngi leen a nuyu fii si AFRICELL head office comme niñ ko baaxee di defee rek ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi doon call 1010 si waxtaan bi TV show bi live on GRTS démb la gaay win tey nag dinañ leen jox seen price bi kon nag yéen ñi nga xam ne yéen a ngi seetaan mun ngeen a gagné itam léegi dañ yokk price bi 10000 la Modou foo bàyyi ko.
maa ngi bàyyi ko ne ma.
biñ la callee ne win nga lan nga yëg.
waaw ana kontaan rek di sant di leen gërëm kay. di sant AFRICELL kay si liggéey bu ñu nekk nii di leen jaajëfal yàlla yokk rek si kanam.
ok i contante le kabri nge kola
contante baki
ko do ñi abe makoy la ñaadi le
ko do ñi kay mom fo ala tento abe makoy la baki because de to be kiri ama easy yes up and down no be siari yes an ma AFRICELL me la ñaatu kila hormot ala ni la ko mo hormot yes
biñ la kolé ne win nga $10,000 lan nga yëg si sa yaram sëñ.
kontaan rek békke waaw because final because dama kontaan ba xaw ma sa lu ma wax because 10,000 mun naa feel gab yu bëri.
toodi ma.
Fabakary Jammeh
ita bota min tole.
Burfoot.
yo Fabakary kabri nge kol nga foye ko ye 10,000 o kanyele ise wota ñaadi.
ise wota bakele because 10,000 o ñi another at the right time le no. Because AFRICELL kay tol nata janda pour que mol mako doron gambianol so ngak mu janda gambianol bul mo be continue ka AFRICELL la no use anin ka continue ka 1010 dial because bi ninda so so do hona sa so non
call len 1010 because xaliss bi dañ ko yoka 7,500 lañ doon joxe legi affaire si yokku na be 10,000 waye nak shopping spree bi manam ki ñoo yobu supermarket bi mu dem jël lu ko neex AFRICELL ñoko fay yo mi nga xamne ya ngay sétane callal 1010 pour nga mën a bokk si ñi nga xam ne dinañ am chance pour gagner si waxtaan bi TV show kon nag ma delloo leen si studio bi Ronald defal leen draw bi jërëjëf.
Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, you're watching GRTS and it's WAHTAN Be right here. And our guest for tonight is Mr. Emmanuel Joof, the Commissioner and Chairperson of the First National Human Rights Commission here in the Gambia. But before we come back to this interesting conversation, we'd like to do a draw for those of you that have been calling and sending your SMSs to 1010. Let's find out who our winners are going to be, each winning $10,000. That is like a stimulus check from AFRICELL, giving you money during these trying times of COVID-19. Remember, keep on wearing your mask and washing your hands and stay safe. So in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and start. The numbers are rolling on the screen. These are all your numbers. Those of you that have been calling and sending your SMSs to 1010 and stop. 7434184, 7434184, 7434184 and start. Okay. All right, and stop. 2043682, 2043682 and start. As soon as we're done from the draw, before we jump into the conversation, we'll have Keba Taylor and Friends band play. And we're playing one of Mr. Daniel Joof's favorite artists in the studio. I hope you'll enjoy the song that the band will be playing, and we'll do it immediately after the draw. And stop. 2089915, 2089915 and start. This will be our fourth winner, winning $10,000. Keep on calling and sending your SMSs to 1010 to be a winner on the show. And stop. 7289 294, 7289 294. Those are four winners winning each $10,000, and they will be called immediately after the show too, and to be told how they'll get their money. Right now we'll just do the final draw to find out who will be winning the shopping spree, and then after that immediately we just rush to the band, and they'll play a very beautiful song. At least they have like 3 minutes to play, and then we come right back to the conversations with Mr. Daniel Joof. We have a lot to talk about. So let's see, in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and start. Okay, and stop. 2901232, 2901232. You've won yourself a free shopping spree. You'll be called tomorrow and taken to the supermarket, and you can shop as much as you want. Right now we'll have the band set up to come and play. Mr. Keba Taylor and Friends with Modo on the keys, Baba on the microphone. They'll give a short, beautiful song dedicated. And I had to get this information from his wife to know that he really loves Bob Marley.
Oh, parade, sister, robber, sold I to the emergency. Minutes before they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hands we made strong, and by the hands of the Almighty we forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever heard. Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the fire. How long shall they kill our prophets? Or stand aside and look? Some say it's just the battlefield. We got to fulfill the rule. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever heard, redemption songs, redemption songs, these songs of freedom, these songs of freedom, redemption songs. Songs of freedom, redemption song. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kev and friends, a wonderful band. Worked with them for God knows how long, with Black Magic and Keva Never Fails and Motorboy and everyone. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the song.
No, this was a big surprise. So, I was wondering how you knew I like Bob Marley.
Your wife.
All right.
I had to find a way of getting that, and then she said you're a big fan of Bob Marley. So,
okay. I'm old school.
I know. I'm pretty sure the song fits what we're talking about too as well. So let's dive in proper into what the commission is. What is your mandate in the Gambia?
Yes. Quickly, you know, it's a new commission. The commission was set up by an act of parliament in 2017. But it was in 2018 that the 5 commissioners were sworn into office. And 5 commissioners were sworn into office. Now let me go to the mandate, because we'll talk about other things. But the commission is mandated by law. Okay. This is an act of parliament. Again, we didn't choose ourselves. Perhaps maybe I should start by saying how the commissioners are chosen. Commissioners, an advert goes, people who were interested in the position of a commissioner, with the terms of reference were there, were applied. Some were told to apply because others felt that they had, you know, they had the skill sets. And those that apply, the initial application went to the Ministry of Justice, where they did the long list of a group of long list of people they felt met the criteria. And the law says, after making that list, you hand this list to an umbrella organization of 6. So you had Gambia Press Union, the Gambia Bar Association, you had FLAG, Female Lawyers Association, you had Tango, you had Federation of Disabled. Anyway, it was, and these were the organization that went through the long list and selected 9. To them, they looked at all the CVs and selected 9, and they sent those 9 names to the House of Assembly, Parliament. And Parliament shortlisted 5 out of the 9. And those 5 that they scrutinized, the names were then sent to the President, and the President just appointed the 5. The only difference was maybe he chose who was going to be chairperson or vice chair. But actually it was the names that were selected by the House of Assembly. So it's good to ask this. And not only that, the act says that at least 2 commissioners must be female. So it has to have 2 female commissioners. So this is the composition. So then let's come to the mandate. The mandate is very broad. It's protection and promotion. And again, the mandate comes from, you know, National Human Rights Commission. It's not the Gambia only Gambia that has it. In fact, we are one of the last countries to have it. The UN encourages countries all over the world to have National Human Rights Commission, and it's based on a set criteria. And that's where the mandate is actually also it's. So, for example, we have the mandate to investigate, to monitor human rights. We advise the government. We do research. We have a quasi-judicial power. We have individual complaints mechanism. People can come and complain where they say that their human rights were violated. They come to us. We do research. We do advisory roles. advisory notes. We send guidelines to the government. We advise them. We can sit as a tribunal, as I said. So our mandate is very broad. We monitor. We visit detention centers. We are mandated. We don't even need permission. We go to detention centers and monitor, and report. We are independent in the sense that although we're set up by an act of, we are not answerable to any government department. The only institution that we report to every year is the National Assembly. And we give our report. And this is what happened when we go every year, because we are told that we should come to Parliament every year and explain what the human rights situation was in the Gambia in that year that we observed. What cases have we looked at? What were the outcome of those cases? What recommendations have we given to government? How can the situation be improved? So this is what our report says. We need to go to Parliament. And we publish this so that everybody knows what we have done. So this is the mandate of the commission, and it's permanent. Permanent in the sense that a lot of people have had commissions. Jana commissions, CRC just finished, TRRC will finish. And in fact, when we were set up, I heard people saying, this commission, this government and commission. We are not a commission that is set up, it's here to stay. We are a watchdog body. So this is, and the commission sit, we have the commissioners who are 5, and then we have a secretariat. The secretariat is, we call it our nerve center, where we have the directorates of legal and investigation. We have the directorate of communication, of finance, of programs, and this is the way we operate. So we have a group of lawyers, a group of investigators, and we do our own investigation. So we just don't rely on what the police tell us.
You do your own.
Yes, and in doing so, we have recruited people who are, some are ex-police officers.
So coming to that, we are running out of time, but I just want us to cover some certain things with not relying on what other people do. But currently, briefly, what are some cases that you've worked on? And we've had some issues with, before, talking about the Faraba case, talking about the case of Gorgin Boop and all of that. But what of cases have you guys sat on and worked on? And but briefly, before we move to the draft constitution.
Well, we have dealt with a lot of cases because, again, when you come to us, your complaint must be a violation of human rights. Again, it's strict, so it has to be a violation as per the constitution or convention treaties that the Gambia had ratified. So we have a lot of cases. They vary. They vary. Actually, all sorts of cases. We have cases ranging from, unlawful arrest, detention, alleged torture, unlawful dismissal, termination. So these are the normal cases that we have. We had even cases relating to rape, but since we are not a court of law, some of these we actually refer to the right authorities. Do you know what I'm saying? So our cases, you name it, everything comes under us. But maybe I should quickly say that we are limited in jurisdiction. We do not hear matters, human rights violation that happened before January 24th, 2018.
2018.
Yes.
So from those violations, moving forward,
goes to the TRRC.
Yes,
and in between, you can file a suit in the court. But anything, and we hear not only against government, public enterprise. Our mandate is very broad. So we hear all kinds of cases. By the end of the year, we are doing a statistics of the kind of cases, civil and political, domestic violence. So you'll get the right statistics of what we've looked at and what the outcomes are. You've rightly mentioned, we have looked, we're looking at some cases. We have concluded some. We've even sent our findings, our report, to the appropriate government institution, and we have recommended redress. Because our act tells us that we can actually recommend and say, listen, and not only recommend, we can follow and make sure that the appropriate remedial recommendations are met. But perhaps maybe quickly I should add, we do a lot of mediation. A lot of things are done at that level. If you remember the 3-year Jotna case, when those demonstrations, they were arrested, charged, some radio stations were closed. If you remember, it was in our office where the Minister of Information, the Minister of Justice, they came with the GPU. We trashed out the issues. And immediately after we finished a closed-door meeting, we excluded some of you guys.
Yeah, I know.
And immediately after we finished, the government said, you know why? Okay, you know what? these radio stations are open, and they are open. If you remember just recently the issue of Madi Jobate, when he was he was called for questioning, and there are many issues surrounding that, and they proffered some charges, but it never continued. We spoke to the IGP, and I must commend this government, at least for now. The IGP has an open door, and he has actually come to our office, sit down with us. We disagree, we agree, but we have been able to solve issues. This never happened before. In fact, I told him the other day, he laughed when I went to his office to discuss things. I say, you see, IG, in the old days, I would have come with a toothbrush and probably tell my wife, I would not come back. But just to say that we are making strides. It's not perfect, but
So finally, before we leave, I just want to hear your thoughts, because we have only a few minutes, about the draft constitution. It was thrown out of the parliament. What are your as a lawyer and as a legal person, what's the maybe implications, or where are we right now with the draft being sent out of the...
Well, two things. I will say that, of course, now it has been thrown out. We revert back to our 1997 constitution. As a lawyer, and not only that, as a commission, we had made contribution during the consultation, and we were very happy then when we saw what is now chapter 4, which was now chapter 6. They included 34 provisions as opposed to the 17, and we were very happy. Yes, it was never perfect. Constitutions are not perfect because it's give and take.
You can't
satisfy everybody. But unfortunately, if you ask me, we felt that it was a much improved constitution. But what happened during the process, as you know, people thought it was a menu. They can choose and pick. Yes, people have a right to oppose. I remember, unfortunately, the issue of what was it, secular, became so contentious, and people took sides, you know, Muslims and Christians, and I only wish then that the commission took the CRC took a different line, because they were mandated under their law to preserve the secular nature of the state. What they could have done was just to explain to people that this is what we mean by secular. Because you had all kinds of stories. Man marrying man, women marrying women, and you know, you had the hutbas. People were even crying in the mosque. You had, on the other side, some pastors were saying. I think, had they explained that secular here means this is not a state religion. No religion is giving preference. We are a religious nation, but our constitution, it's not a theocracy, whether we like it or not. It's not run by canon law, nor is it run by Sharia. There are aspects of it when it comes to personal law. But people took sides. Unfortunately, it became ugly, among many other things. But constitutions are difficult. I think there were very progressive, substantive provisions in this constitution that we rejected. But hey, it's gone.
Thank you, Mr.
We go back
Joof.
to the drawing board.
I really hope we could have continued this conversation, but we're running out of time and GRTS News has to come. But we thank you, and I'm sure we'll do this more often because there are tons of information that you need to share with us concerning your mandate in the country, your work that you're doing, and the gains and so many things. But we'll invite you here another time so that we'll broaden the conversation.
There's
and
more
have
we can talk about.
Definitely. Thank you very much for your time, and we're happy to have you here.
And human rights are our rights.
Our rights.
We need human rights to bring stability in a country. You see, you remember 2017, most of the series, dañ fay daw bañ ne ba waaji ne du wàcca gay door di fay daw. Why, you know, this is what we're avoiding, human rights, so that we stick to the rule of law, due process. That's what we talk about. So nag koni ko la video he sa say waxu deug waaye xana xel léeg-léeg na mu am ñoo xam ne dañoo jël wax human rights dupp ko. But this is what li ma la wax, this is what we're here for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joof.
Thank you so much.
And it was a pleasure having you. And we'll be back here. Continue calling 1010 and sending your SMSs to 1010. If time permits us, we'll leave you with the Q&A. And thank you, GRTS. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Continue calling and sending your SMSs to 1010. Q&A is next, if it's possible. And thank you and have a good night. Thank you very much, Mr. Joof.
Thank you.
Get the chance to win up to $500,000.
That is fantastic.
If you don't have an AfriMoney account, now is the perfect time to get it. Call 777 to activate your AfriMoney account and increase your chances to win up to $500,000.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.